Brooklyn Independent Television.
Hey, it's a big
But
borough.
will Brooklyn really go for
Why
it?
don't we just agree to disagree?
Yeah, that's really gonna fly in
Well, that's a
Brooklyn.
good question.
No. Listen.
That's exactly the point I wanted to make.
Whether you stood in the rain to protest it or attended a forum to support it, or just noticed the huge rusty skeleton that's converged over the former Atlantic Yard site, the Barclays Center is a reality. So before Jay-Z and Babs take the stage and the Nets hit the boards, we're looking at how Brooklyn's businesses will be affected by its newest landmark. This is Intersect, and today we're talking Barclays and Brooklyn business. I'm joined by James Caldwell, the president and CEO of Brooklyn United for Innovative Local Development, and Lori Raphael, director of external affairs for the Brooklyn Chamber. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having.
So, like we said, the thing is here, and it's sort of a cultural flashpoint now. Everything is going to be measured in our lifetime, at least, by before the arena was here and after.
To a certain extent, that would be true. First of all, Brooklyn is a borough, but it's a city of 2.5 million people. For a major world-class city, we should have a world-class entertainment venue. So we're getting the right place at the right time. In terms of the anticipation of businesses, we see this as an economic engine, as a driver for contracts, for local businesses to step up and show their wares, for development of an architectural site that's taking over a vacant space, an additional tax base, and we're seeing hotels pop up over the area. It's contributing to our tourism business as well.
Well, if I might add, I've lived in that community, God knows how long, but 8 years ago, I know on Vanderbilt Avenue and Washington Avenue, and even on Flatbush Avenue, there was a lot of the small businesses, they wasn't there. It was a lot of, the stores there was closed down. But once the arena was approved, or the Atlantic Yards project was approved in 2006, I started to see a slow process of businesses starting to move into the community. And a lot of them was not for the Atlantic Yards project, but slowly they start coming in the community now. Now on Vanderbilt Avenue, I mean, it is, you can't find a vacant place there. On Washington Avenue, you can't find a vacant place. And of course, on Flatbush Avenue, I mean, community boards, Board 2 and 6, so many bars and other different businesses are trying to move into the area now. So this arena has really shook up the economy in a very positive way, and people are excited, very excited, because the arena has really brought businesses back, to our community, and we're very thankful for that.
So there's this sort of ripple effect that has happened. A large stone has sort of been dropped into the pond there, right, at Atlantic and Flatbush, and it's rippling out. There's been a lot of headlines recently about businesses who are miles away sort of claiming a piece of that Barclays cachet, calling themselves Arena Hotel or the downtown center sort of rental car, anything to sort of attach their names to the sort of energy that's building at that point for the center now. But looking at the types of businesses that are coming, there's been another set of news stories about Hooters coming and whether it should be in the community or not. So from the chamber perspective, are the businesses that are coming more local and or more national chains in feel, or what's the balance between people like Hooters or other types of businesses that are franchised from around the country versus sort of homegrown Brooklyn mom and pop businesses?
I would say we're seeing a good mix of that. First of all, you have the boundaries of a downtown leaking out further, which is a great thing in terms of bringing economic development further out to the borough. So you have this as being another driver of large-scale business that sort of raises the footprint of what it means to be in the central downtown area. Depending on what street you're in and what the need is, we are seeing an influx of nationals, which is a terrific thing because there is some desire for that in terms of being able to stay local and shop at even those larger stores that you might have left Brooklyn for previously to shop at. These stores also have a tendency to anchor an area. They're light, they're bright, they're kept well, they may stay open long enough to increase that 24/7 nature of the street. And then we're seeing businesses that on some of the side streets and even some of the more main streets too, that are seeing a level of foot traffic that are enabling them to survive in a better way than we would have seen in the past.
So, Mr. Caldwell, you are the CEO of an organization that has a long name but a very short and fitting acronym. So explain BUILD to us.
Well, BUILD is, Brooklynites for Innovative Local Development. A lot of people think we're a construction company, but, we're not. What we try to do, we try to build lives in our community. We try to reach out, to those that are very unfortunate that, when it comes time to looking for a job, it's very difficult for them, because a lot of them, don't have those skills. So what we try to do when they come to our office, we try to help them with their resumes. We try to talk to them about, hey, pull your pants up, take the do-rag off, make yourself look presentable, for when you go to an employer. So, when an employer first sees, it's always that first impression. So if you look good, they go, 9 times out of 10, you get a shot at trying to, get that particular job. So what we try to do is to ensure that we give our people the opportunity. Because generally, when big construction, big projects come to our community, as the peoples of color community generally don't get an opportunity to participate. With the fact that we was invited to the table to sit down with Forest City Ratner companies, we're there to advocate for the little guy, for the little one in our community, to make sure that they get a chance to participate, and more importantly, get a chance to work, in the arena. For example, we have working along with Forest City Ratner, we have a customer service program, a customer and hospitality program that we're trying to prep our community for when they start doing the interviews, that they will get a fair chance at maybe obtaining one of those jobs. Right now, we've had 172 graduate from our customer service hospitality training program. Forest City Ratner has been funding us because they are trying to keep the promises that they made with us in the community benefit agreement, that they would reach out, to communities such as Board 2, Board 3, Board 6, and Board 8, because those are the community boards that surround the arenas, that's closer to the arena, right. And the employer would be looking for someone that lives in the vicinity of the arena.
I'd like to also agree that the hospitality sector is one of the growing economic sectors in Brooklyn. It's terrific that there's training actually focusing in that area, because that's where the jobs are and where the jobs are going to be, and that's how the center.
These are skills that you can shop not just at the arena should you apply there, but it may have started with this sort of community impact around the arena, but hotels are springing up all over Brooklyn.
Thousands of rooms have come online over the last 5 years, with many more to come. Brooklyn has really hit its stride as a destination. So the hospitality sector in the arena is going to play a huge role in attracting the kind of entertainment, world-class entertainment, that's going to fill those hotel rooms and be another major thing to do while you are in Brooklyn and partaking of all of our cultural and our culinary opportunities.
As far as procurement and keeping the arena supplied with manpower as well as the business necessities that they need to keep running.
We're really pleased and satisfied at the inclusion we've had in the procurement level as the arena is getting closer to open. AEG is the company that was retained to do the procurement for service contracting. We've already had something like 5 or 6 opportunities that we've been able to present to our business community for contracts for extermination services and uniform dry cleaning. I mean, real business contracts that can really, float some of these, sustaining contracts that could keep a business going for the long haul. We have been able to introduce a number of our local food businesses who were invited in to give tastings of their products and to talk about their production capacity and to give tours of their facility, and who are actively being considered for food service at the arena. So we're quite satisfied that the opportunities are being made available locally, and that all appropriate local channels are being used to get the word out.
So when we get into this sort of numbers game that invariably happens when we talk about a project of this size, and it has come up again and again with this, if you were to Google Barclays Center right now, I'm sure like the third topic would be about number of jobs created. So whether it's the 2,000 number that's put out by one part of the whole overall thing, or the multiplying effect that happens when businesses that are already in existence get clients that, like the Barclays Center, who will, like we said, be sustaining, and whether it expands their business. So 2,000 or 1,200 might be an official number, but there's still a continued ripple effect that people aren't directly hired by the center, but still providing jobs for Brooklynites, presumably.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned businesses optimistically taking the name of the arena. There's a hotel, one of the hotels, Best Western, chamber member, Arena Hotel.
Yeah.
It's on Atlantic Avenue. It's not right on top of the arena, but it's a really reasonable distance if the Best Western was your choice for style and budget of hotel. And we're finding, as a tourism destination, we're certainly seeing a lot more people in Brooklyn from Europe. Europeans seem to be willing to travel if they're certainly on a subway line or other transportation and the accommodation meets their budget. Right. So yes, we are definitely expecting to see a ripple effect throughout our communities.
So Mr. Caldwell, we spoke about the sort of constituency of the chamber. Who are the people who come through the doors at Build? We mentioned the different community boards, but is there a sort of profile of a person who comes to you with a certain skill set or knowledge base or desire to be a part of the Atlantic Yards, whether it's on the construction end or the hospitality side or any other thing once it's completed?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that we always talk about for the past 8 years is that, we have a wealth of talents and gifts in our community. Unfortunately, with a lot of our people, they have great resumes. We have people with master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and also we have people that don't have GEDs, But most importantly, what we're trying to highlight here, we know that the 2,000 jobs that they have in the arena, is certainly not enough for our community, all right? But it's a great stepping stone. One of the things about working with Ashley Cotton, the vice president of Forest City Ratner's external group, is that she's helping us open doors by working with Workforce One. Because Workforce One's, that's the mayor's initiative. Right. It covers the city. They have numerous jobs there. But what we're trying to do is get the people from our community job ready, so when they go to them and present their credentials, hopefully they could pair them off, with somebody from Chamber of Commerce, But we know that there's numerous jobs out there, and the arena is just a stepping stone for us. It's basically what the arena is, to open up doors for others in the community and highlight what we do at our organization, Bill. Because a lot of times people think, well, they just puppets for Forest City and they this and that. No, we're independent, We have that Harriet Tubman mindset. We want to go back and get others that need help and bring them to the forefront so people can actually see what they do in our community.
So to that end, you spoke about the hospitality sort of training course and overview that people can graduate from with those skills to fill the positions in hospitality and go for those jobs. I know there's also a pre-apprenticeship program at Build.
Yeah, no. Well, we had a pre-apprenticeship training program, but one of the things that we discovered is that when people come there for construction job, people talk about construction guys make all this money. Hey, but sometimes they only work in 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. Then they end up on unemployment. And unfortunately, with people of color, this has always been a tough barrier for us. But working with Forest City, we was trying to break that cycle. But we felt that if a person have a consistent job where they can go to work every day, punch in, they can do more for their families, and then retire at a certain age. You don't have to be bouncing all over the city, looking for work, So, but when you go back to customer service and hospitality, listen, that's something our people's been doing for years. Even when it wasn't, famous, so to speak. That's something we've been doing. So we have that expertise, and all our people need is an opportunity. And I think working with Forest City, being one of their community partners, that will open up the doors for our community. And I'm very happy about that.
So in a very real boots on the ground way, what could someone who's watching right now do to be a part of one of these training programs or sort of get in the stream at Build?
Well, merely all they have to do, if they're watching the program right now, I said, listen, pick up the phone, dial 718-230-7095, ask for Miss Ricks. That's 718-230-7095. Ask for her, and she's our outreach coordinator, and she would get you into that class.
And from a business perspective, if you're looking for procurement opportunities, please do come to the Chamber. There are many things we can do, including getting you on RFP lists, making your products available through various showcases. And I would urge you to email ISTERN, ISTERN, at brooklynchamber.com for Brooklyn Connects. Let us connect you to business opportunities.
So you see this as a net positive, no pun intended, the net thing, as a net positive gain for Brooklyn businesses, and the sort of, it became maybe a dirty word after the 80s. There's a trickle-down effect that is actually pretty real if we have businesses that are making money and opportunities, and that will create jobs for people to then contribute to that whole cycle of businesses in and jobs being created in Brooklyn.
The opening of the stadium is one of the tools that the Chamber will have to introduce smaller businesses to a larger business community, to present procurement and other opportunities. And yes, we do see it as a net positive.
Mr. Caldwell, do you have anything about that?
Well, listen, for 8 years, almost 8 years, 4 months now, we have believed in the arena. And mainly because we know that, one of the things that we know is that people from our community are very creative. Mm-hmm. And what do I mean by that? For example, when, a lot of times kids want to play basketball, there's sometimes there's no place in the park to play. They'll go to the nearest bodega, get one of those milk crates, cut the bottom out of it, throw it up on the wall, and they play basketball. So the same thing with the arena. You're going to have people out there creating opportunities there. Some of it might not be legal, but they're going to be out there, making, and that money, all that money got,
informal economy.
I'm just saying, we have to be real, we have to be real about life, because life still goes on. You know that, because of what Bruce Ratner, his vision, it's going to create all kinds of opportunity, for our community, all kinds. It already has started already. That's why I'm on your show right now. It already has started, and it's exciting. No one really knows how big this arena really is. Nobody really knows, but in the next 5 to 10 years, they will know. We haven't had something like this since the Dodgers left in 1957. This is huge. Every city cannot get an NBA franchise. Right. It just don't happen. This is big. It really is. And I thank God for Marty Markowitz that he went to Bruce Ratner and persuaded him to do this. It's a great thing for our community, but it's going to really be great, for the poverty-stricken neighborhoods. It really is. I'm telling you it will, because it gives them a little ray of hope. And that's what our organization does, People can actually come there and know they can sit down with us, and we will try to help them.
So I want you to unpack that a little bit for me, because I know that there's a segment of people who are going to be watching this right now and rolling their eyes as we talk about the arena is coming and it's maybe bigger than we thought, when they feel like there's still a lot of promises that went unkept in terms of job creation and full-time jobs versus part-time jobs and jobs that offer a living wage that are sort of transformative for families and individuals to break that cycle of poverty. And I know there's a lot of chatter out there, and there have been headlines and people have talked about it for the entire time. But in a real way, you talked about the glimmer of hope that it provides, and whether they're full-time jobs or the part-time jobs, it can have a transformative effect on your life, even if you just have a part-time job, if you have nothing now. So how would you answer the critics who say, well, there's only 1,200 part-time jobs? What do those part-time jobs even mean to the people who walk through your doors?
Well, those part-time jobs mean a lot. Just this morning, I had a young man named Mark Chandler called me this morning at 8 o'clock and said, listen, I just want to get in. I'm going to get custody of my daughter in August. I don't care if my job's only paying me minimum wage or only working 20, 25 hours a week. I need to be with my daughter, Mr. Caldwell. You got to get me into the arena. That really touched me. It just.
And that's a real situation that
very
many
real.
people are faced with every day here.
Yes, absolutely. But and I must say, but more so in communities that are struggling, like Boards 2, 3, 6, and 8, in those pockets there, people are really struggling, and we see them coming out of office day in and day out. But to go back to your question, in the CBA, this thing, it's not going to happen overnight.
Break that down.
Community benefit agreement,
which was something
there
that
was
came
8
about
organizations, 8 black organizations that that signed on to be partners with Forest City Ratner to ensure that that people's living in the surrounding communities would get a shot. But I guess what people are overlooking, things, this city wasn't built overnight. In the CBA, it talks about 25 to 30 years to build this project out. So when they talk about it in terms, people didn't get the jobs like they thought they was going to get, the union jobs or whatever. Well, this is a 30-year project. Mm-hmm. Things just don't happen overnight. So we still got time. With the arena opening up now, this is a building block. And Forest City, we work very close with them to try to, get more people hired from the community to be a part of this particular project. So. But just don't, and I know what the critics are saying out there. I hear it all the time. Yep. I've been called plantation Negro and this and that by my own folks, but hey, it is what it is. I can tell you right now, since September of 2008, we have a little organization like ours, but big and hard, have put 450 people to work with our partnership with Forest City Radnor.
Have you
by working with CWE, Custodians for Workers Education, that connection came through Forest City Radnor. Yes, I'm sorry.
What have you asked for from Forest City that hasn't happened?
No, well, the thing is that, New York City is a union town.
Yep.
I would love to see, because our people are gifted, with their hands, A lot of young men drop out of school because they don't, when I went to school, it was vocational, You could build things, you could do this. They put you on the right path to get where you need to get. That no longer exists. So what our young men do, they drop out of school. Some of them go out on the streets and form their own, own drugstores, so to speak, in which, which is wrong, but they out there trying to do, what they can do. So I'm not happy with the fact that I don't see more of the members that supported the project that's not working on the construction site. But on the other part of it, sometime in life you have to make an adjustment. That's when we said, when we started doing our homework and we seen that, the city of New York was going, to more, customer service type jobs. So we said, well, hey, let's take advantage of that. Let's put our focus on trying to put more people to work as opposed to, but to answer your question, I would like to have seen more on that construction site building the arena.
I was going to say the construction jobs, by their very nature, are temporary. No matter how many there were going to be,
It's a
they were going.
transient industry.
It's transient.
Yeah.
We've got to concentrate our positive energies on where the growth is, and that's where we've got to, train our kids and our adults to be able to move into that sector. I also wanted to make note of the fact that Mr. Caldwell talks about how this is happening over time and this time span, and I want to go back to the original sort of downtown Brooklyn Renaissance, where you really had the market starting to get made with the Metrotech project. We're talking about a project that goes back to something like 1984, and here we are in 2012, and the downtown area is starting to get that retail and starting to look really like what that 1984 vision might have been. Right. This is how neighborhoods change, and this is how economic development is an incremental process. What we're seeing here with the start of the arena and the associated projects is a building block for long-term change in bringing economic development and to this increased footprint of the downtown area, and that it's going to be another 20 or 25 years until we see the fruit of that labor as well.
Yeah. I'm going to ask each of you again to share information for businesses and job seekers out there to get in touch and make some moves.
Okay, once again, Brooklyn United for Innovative Local Development, better known as BUILD. We're located at 485 Hudson Avenue. That's between Fulton Street and DeKalb Avenue. We're right downstairs. Well, in fact, Internal Revenue is right over us. So, the federal government is always looking at us, so we got to do the right thing. But more importantly, is if you come to our office, we have trained specialists there that would work with you to do your resumes. We actually like a one-stop shop place, because when people come into our office, they have various issues. And with the fact that I'm a president of a precinct community council, very active in the community, I know how to navigate the system, So we try to share that knowledge with individuals that come in our office. And we have a lot of success stories in our office, and, we welcome anyone, especially our critics, to come there and visit with us, see what we actually do there. We welcome all Brooklynites, to come to our office, sit down, speak with us, and we'll try to work with them. And I want to just, I want to give a big shout out to you all and thank you all for having us on this show, because we don't get an opportunity to generally tell our side of the story, and we have a wonderful story to tell too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. Lori.
Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce is located at 25 Elm Place in downtown Brooklyn off the Fulton Mall. We are here to help businesses in a variety of ways. Advocacy, we can get you MWBE certified. We can make procurement opportunities available and connect you to those other businesses that you want to be in touch with for growth. And again, ISTERN at brooklynchamber.com for Brooklyn Connects. And thank you, Brian. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you both for being here. It's a thank you circle today. I want to thank my guests, Mr. James Caldwell, the President and CEO of Brooklyn United for Innovative Local Development, BUILD, and Lori Raphael, the Director of External Affairs for the Brooklyn Chamber. Thanks for watching Intersect. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at bricartsmedia.org/BIT.